Hey there, you guys. Welcome to the stream tonight. Pro Se Lawsuit Center. And we're going to just get right to business tonight. Let me see. If I can make this a little bigger. Okay, so Jesse contacted me kind of at the last this special project kind of thing going on. And, he's been putting up with these people harassing him for a minute. And so, he paid well, we have a new thing now where, after you get your package and I can only do a couple of these a month because it takes a little time. But I do like a custom thing where I put the documents together that you need, email them out to you and one to them or whatever we want them to have at the time. So they're getting the documents from Pro Se Lawsuit Center too. Okay, but when you pay for a premium service, we're not just going to just send the stuff in just because of due process violation and just regular. I don't like to do the same thing. I find when you become a noticer, I've learned how to be a noticer, to notice things. I learned how to be a noticer, but to be a really good noticer, you have to roll without fear. You do. You have to roll without fear. Now, I'm not downplaying anybody's fear or whatever, because it's very real. Believe me. Oh, so what's my level of fear? Level of fear that bothers me is being sent back with a forced medication order to Butler, North Carolina Federal Medical Facility. Yeah, that's my story. And I had a couple of butt heads. When I say butt, I'm talking about ex-attorneys or these people that's getting beat up. I want to know where I graduated from paralegal school. I was like, well, damn, they got me graduating somewhere. I let them know it was from the Butler, North Carolina Federal Medical Facility. They didn't teach me how to talk, but that's where Okay, so let's just get right to this. So this is the charging document that they put against Jesse, and they arrested him or whatever. And so I'm looking at this. He failure to identify fugitive intent, give false information. That's kind of confusing. Usually they just have their fake statute, because statutes and codes aren't valid laws. They just have the statute there. Okay, so here's the case number and then the court. And then here's the data control number. And then the arrest date. So what's that number? And this is the case number. So what's that number? Oh, that's the administrative office number that uses to control this. Now, I wonder why that is not put over here. Could this, and I'm just going out here on the thing because I've been in the hole all day long. Okay, I've been in the hole all day long, and when I go in the hole, there ain't no limitations on nothing. There can't be. If there is any limitations, then I just won't even go in the hole. Okay, because and the other thing, I can't be surprised. Okay, so this is the in-house control number. That's the number that we're going to be adding to the lawsuit. In my opinion, I got to make you know that. In my opinion, that's probably the administrative side of the paperwork that they use to tap into your trust and stuff. I don't know. I'm not that smart, but I know that there's some kind of reason that they have another in-house control number instead of just a case number that y'all ass have. I mean, that our ass have. Okay. No, we got both now. So that's interesting. Okay, but for those of you who are, keeping up, then what is this stuff up here? Julie Heck. And then this, okay, this stuff here tells me, and I'm just, I learned how to do this copy and paste stuff when I was locked up, born in North Carolina. I learned how to do what you gotta do. That tells me that this or something, it was this part, I just now realized this. This part here is from a receipt. The receipt. This bar scan here and this complaint number here is probably the money side of this. I mean, I don't know. I don't know this stuff. Okay, people will tell me I don't know stuff. I have people that help me that get in the program. I try to help them, and they tell me that they are not going to file. They haven't filed anything because they haven't seen that worked. So if you ever told me that, then I'm probably not going to help you with anything that got to do with anything, because number one, and no offense to anybody if this happens to be you, okay, number one, maybe with the fear, has paralyzed you for such a long, because some people have been fighting this battle for a long time. The fear paralyzed you, and you can't, at that point, as a coach, I got a lot of people that's stepping up, paralyzed by fear too, but stepping up to get the shit done. So as a coach, I need to put somebody in the ring that's ready to kick ass and do whatever. So that's kind of, I don't do well with people's fear. I'm trying to learn. I've learned how to communicate better, going through, the X and the therapy or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm a coach. I'm not going to change the shit that I do. Because I think if I did, I learned how to be nice and kiss people's ass, then we wouldn't have the same thing going. Okay, so this right here appears to be a receipt, and I knew the line here made it be something, but when I blew it up on here, then I can see it a lot better. You see it right there, come down right there, and it kind of goes up like that. So that is a receipt. Huh. Okay, so Julia Heck. Okay, let's just get to it. Okay, that's Julia Heck's. That's Julia Heck's. That right there is Julia Heck's and scribble and whatever. And I looked up the other assistant district attorneys. So that I could see which name that was close, because I didn't know at first. And so that's that's pretty much her. And according to the information that I was able to find, she is an intern, and she's not a U.S. district attorney. She's not even an attorney. I don't believe she has a bar card. I'm not 100% sure on that. Oh my, but I said she an intern, and the website done. So this is what the performance sign mean, whatever they appearing in the oath of office, and good reason to believe that in Fort Bend County, Jesse Tuggle thereafter styled the defendant therefore upon or about January 27th, did and intentionally give false and fictitious name to Officer M. Gares of of the Gate Police Department, and peace officer, and unlawfully, the peace officer who had unlawfully detained said the defendant, and said the defendant knew the officer M. Garez was the Cape Police Department was a peace officer, and said defendant was then and there a fugitive from justice. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm not even going to take the time to look up what a fugitive from justice is. I already know. I lived in a black family. I'm not a fugitive. I never been charged with. Well, I've been charged. I ain't never been convicted of shit, and I ain't never took the deal. You got to throw those two together, or you ain't being straight. All right. A fugitive, because he gave them an alleged fake name that made him a fugitive. A fugitive is somebody who is running from the police, or is hiding from the police, or who busted out of jail and is running from the police, or is running from the running from. Come on now. Okay, you have to be adjudicated and break out, or it says you can be a fugitive if they're chasing you. But I don't believe that shit. I think you have to be, you're a suspect if they're chasing your ass and you ain't done nothing. I mean, if you've been adjudicated already, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to keep up with this shit, but I see this stinks. Well, okay, so what are we going to do about it? Well, for starters, we gotta do another share thing so we can show another. I'm gonna see if we can get the file up that I want to show. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and show this. So Jesse, this is what you got, and I'm sure you'll probably be watching that. She's probably going to bed now or whatever. But now we don't add everybody. We can go in and add anybody else that we want. And I enjoy working with you, Jesse. I enjoy working people who just let me do what I do. Even if you don't understand every single thing, it's really annoying to have people ask me for help, and then they get grumpy and argue with me the whole way that I should do things a different way, or do it this way, or this is not the right person, this is not the right. I don't have to be right. Okay, I do not have to be right. I don't have to be right. I can be partially right. I don't have to be partially right. Okay, I can have their stuff outlined the way they're doing it, and if I'm missing a step or don't have something right, what you think that they're going, oh no, all of this is right, but this part right here, no. You come in, see, that's the thinking you do in their conventional program. I have to be right. Everything's got to check out, so the judge will rule in my favor. I'll throw that shit out the window, okay? Because I'm just telling you. That is not going to help nobody. Judge getting paid. The judge is getting paid by the state. And the state is the one that licensed all the rest of those sub corporations to do what they're doing to you by violating your due process. Okay, so when you invest in a program, you're going after the why, and that makes everybody's stuff the same. I argue with people try to argue me all day long. Okay. If you argue with me that your stuff is different, then you understand. And you just go home and, I know, in Jesse's case, they're trying to throw him in jail over some stupid crap. Okay, so I'm just saying, if you argue the what, then after they're done arguing, the buddy judge gets to help them. It's that simple. I'm not that smart. And I figured that out. If you argue the what, so we do the why. Why? Because they violate your due process. They came after you with statutes and codes that aren't valid laws. They violate your due process, the local rules. You don't have to have a license to practice. They don't have one. All of those things. So this is where we are. And we added Miss Julia Heck up here to the top. Because she is the one that signed that document. She signed on the top, and she is the one, since her signature is right underneath the receipt. I'm going to have to add that receipt to the lawsuit. We're going to have to add that receipt to the lawsuit. Because that'd be a real nice way to tap into that trust, and they can't do shit about it or say that I was being slick. Okay, the problem is they started out being slick, and here we are. We got it. They got a situation. Verified complaint for fraudulent concealment. Fraudulent concealment is a legal doctrine that tolls the statute of limitations. So if this happened to you before, you can go after them anytime. If you got locked up before, arrested, and if this sounds like what you've been through and you felt helpless, well, now you're not. Fraudulent concealment, false arrest, false imprisonment, 42 U.S.C. 1980 violation, and unlawful state enterprise activity. Oh, now we're back to that stinking thing right there. We get hot right now. I drank a bunch of tea at dinner time, so I'm a little round up. But you know what? That's it right there. I think that's it. There is some damn reason they put that shit on it right there. Some reason. And I think it got to do with money. But ain't nothing got to do with okay, never mind. You guys keep up with me. Okay, so here's where we go. I'm just going to short you guys because I don't give a crap. This is badass right here. So we added Miss Julia's address in there because she's part of the RICO stuff. Now, once we're going in, this is the complaint. We're going to start out with the counterclaim. I just did the complaint first so we can have the main thing, and then we can switch it over. But we're going to go in first with the counter. The complaint's going to be filed in federal court. We want to file the counterclaim in state court in their shit. But before you do that, you want to add these parties or whatever parties you need as plaintiffs to their own stuff, because that's what you're doing. I bet they didn't tell you that you could do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we learned that from the real-time feedback from the people that's in this program punching some people in the face. How it goes. It's a lot easier to kick them on the ground. You can punch them someplace else. I don't like to punch them in the face. I like to punch them someplace else and make it slow. Mm-hmm. And then they can't say that, the light was in the eye. Uh-huh. Add these people to the counterclaim, and you file a counterclaim in there. And if you want to be a butthead about it, then you can add the state bar association too. And then none of these people will be able to hire anybody from the state bar association for that state. I don't know. I think that's how it goes.